Hello, Kevin here with Cruise Speed. Just want to make this video to recap the build I've done on my Chrysler Conquest so far. I originally started seeing these vehicles in Norwalk, Ohio during the DSM shootout, fell in love, had to have one, so I started searching Craigslist. Eventually I found one in De Pere, Wisconsin that didn't look too bad or beat up. Most of the ones I was seeing were incomplete, not all there, half-finished projects. So I bought this one. It apparently wasn't running right, tuning something the previous owner didn't know. So we put coolant in it and it puked oil and milkshake all over my buddy's floor. After that, we'd assumed that there was a blown head gasket or something. So we pulled the cylinder head off, had that inspected, and there was a crack in between the intake valve and the jet valve, which was a fairly common problem with these cars from overheating. So then I bought a eBay head that had a mechanical valve lash adjusters, a Juica head gasket, and ARP head studs. After all that was done, I took it out on the road. It had the legendary fall on its face after 2,500 RPM. It turned out that ended up being due to the fuel system being clogged. The fuel tank had major rust issues in it, and the fuel pump ended up having to be replaced. That was the last thing I replaced, and it finally worked, and then it boosted normally. Here is rare footage of a G54B actually running. After I got it running decent, I added custom stainless steel intercooler pipes that I'd fashioned from some recycled dairy tubing because I live in the great state of Wisconsin. I'd ran around with the primered hood and peeling clear coat for a while, so I decided that I was going to repaint the car, and I wasn't quite sure what color to go with. So I just started sanding it in my garage, and I figured I'd just figure it out later. I made a huge mess. Till this day, there's still red dust in my wife's Ford Focus. She loves me for that. When I was working on the body work, I had found out that this car had been in a few fender benders too. The rear quarter panel on the passenger side was hit. There was some work to the radiator core support. The bumper support was replaced at one point because if it was in Wisconsin and actually held together, that meant it was replaced. So it came time to pick a color for this car. I had been pulling parts off this yellow Conquest out at Gibson's. I thought that was pretty neat since I had seen very little yellow cars around, and there was a lot of red Conquest built. Almost all of them that I seen for sale were red. So I decided to use a chrome yellow from a Ford Mustang. It was a little bit more dark, so I liked that feature to it. So since I didn't have very much bodywork experience and it was also the middle of winter, I decided to have somebody else finish the bodywork and spray the car. A friend of mine knew a guy that ran a shop class at a local high school, and they did it for me for very cheap, and they also did a nice job on it as well. After the painting was done, reassembly wasn't too terrible. I scratched a few things here and there, but I kind of learned my lessons as I went. The other issue I ran into was trim pieces that just didn't want to fit right, or plastic clips that broke. The top of the windshield has a trim piece that actually blew off on me on Highway 41 twice, and then the final time I seen it go underneath a semi, so I knew it was done for. So I went to StarQuest Club and purchased another one. After the bodywork was done, I decided to turn my attention to the suspension. I replaced all the stock bushings with the G&T poly bushings, and then I got the D2 coilovers to replace the stock SHP struts that were blown. I had to polish the rims due to the clear coat on them being oxidized underneath. I took sandpaper and worked my way from 200 grit all the way up to 3000. Spent about 8 hours on each rim. So I was heeing and hawing about doing a multi-port injection swap, but I eventually decided not to. I even had parts, but I just had to have the 4G63 in my car. So typically the 4G63 is in a front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive car, so putting it in a rear-wheel drive car is a little bit more difficult. But I've been working on getting plumbing and intake manifold turned around, and the turbo is turned around as well right now. But I just wanted to make this video to recap what I've been doing lately. So if you like my video, like it. If you want to, subscribe to our channel. I know it's pretty small right now. We don't have a lot of media, but we are planning to do some more videos where me and my friends are working on all our project vehicles, some videos about the fabrication work I'm doing. So if you like this video, let us know. If you don't, let us know too, or else we won't get better at making these videos. So if you like it, comment, subscribe if you want to. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great time.